You know what was interesting to me for the in the documentary, I was watching it last night, there was one scene in particular, so many scenes. I love Tim Wise. I've pitched him to the show a couple times. I think he's incredible. But there was one scene in particular when you had the 4 white conservative women. And they said a couple of things. They said, when you asked them about what white privilege was to them, or privilege, one said, well, black people have privilege too, you know, but privilege, white privilege may be growing up with a mom and a dad. You don't see that a lot in the African-American community. One of the parents is always missing. One of them also said...
That's what she said?
Yes. One of them also said, black people have a lot of privilege. I mean, look at college. They get into colleges. They get jobs based on their skin color, and I don't think that's right. And then finally, one said, it's just time to move on and quit talking about it. We've come so far. This, you know, issue is minuscule, and the way people are reacting is making it bigger. And I thought...
they need the training.
Well, but you know what? I think a lot of people feel that way. And so I thought it was really interesting to just hear people say that, because they felt that way. What was your reaction when they said those things?
Well, listen, I had to do a lot of therapy to even have these conversations with people, because I have a temper and I'm reactive. And when somebody's annoying, I want to tell them that they're annoying or that they're stupid.
Right.
But my exercise in this film was to be more quiet, and to stop inserting myself and saying, you're wrong, and to let them say what they say, you know, to be actually just kind of a space for everybody to speak openly, and kind of, you know, in a way you could say those women hung themselves out to dry, from our perspective, but from theirs, they really believe that. And it's important for us to all understand what everybody's really thinking and believing, and to have the conversation. The first step is having the conversation. Me screaming at those women doesn't get us anywhere.
You don't want to scream, but they need to learn history, the history of this country, the history of slavery and Jim Crow, etc., before they open their mouths.
Well, yes, and that, yes.
They don't know history.
No, they don't.
That's why they say stuff like that.
Maybe hang out with people that look different than they do and that have different backgrounds than they do. I think it's always good when we surround ourselves with people that aren't like us. That don't look the way we do, that didn't have the same upbringing that we did. That's the only way we learn from each other.
I mean, if you look around your circle of friends, a lot of them are going to look like you. Most people have a circle of friends.
Abby and I's situation, our families are biracial. So, I mean, again, I don't like to stereotype broad swaths, but whatever. You also went back to see your high school boyfriend in the documentary, and you were really nervous to see him. So we have a clip of that.
You got in trouble a lot when we were together, and I was always not able to skirt out of the trouble.
That's right.
Like, I remember getting pulled over like 4 or 5 times on my way home to the house. When I had been drinking, I had like 5 people in the car, and every single time I got through it.
No, but you had the complexion for the connection.
Wow, I was in some pretty hairy situations that I never, ever paid the price for.
Never. Like I said, you know, I went that different way, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did with you.
And this was not supposed to be a part of the documentary, I understand. And so what made you put it in?
My director, I mean, I've already revisited some ex-boyfriends in these documentaries, and I'm like, listen, I'm running out of ex-boyfriends to visit, first of all. So can we put a, like, you know, pin in that? But she wanted to go over my history and my life. And when I told her, oh, when I was a junior in high school, I moved in with my brother and, you know, away from my parents. And then I was in a different high school where there was diversity, and I dated a black guy named Tyshawn, and we got caught 3 times with bags of weed growing up. 3 times together. And each time they told me to go back to my neighborhood, and each time he was arrested. And he had a full scholarship to UNLV, never went, got put in the system and never got out, and spent 14 years incarcerated.
The fact that you have given an insight to folks perhaps will move this conversation along. We always love it when you come see us. Her new documentary, Hello Privilege, It's Me, Chelsea, I love the title. It's streaming on Netflix right now, so make sure you check it out. Her book, Life Will Be the Death of Me, is out there too.